Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today's video is a review of The Battle of the Labyrinth, the second to last book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series. I'm not sure if you can hear Missy purring, but it's early morning, and usually first thing in the morning or like whenever I wake up, she likes to come in and get a bunch of snuggles. So she's just wanting to be pet and she's just purring. But anyway, I'm going to record this video so that I can get on with the day and do some other things, maybe reading the fifth book. So, that being said, let's move right into my thoughts about the plot. Again, I give the plot 5 out of 5 stars. I think that this book, it was a little bit more intense. The stakes were higher for a lot of the characters. Of course, the stakes are pretty high anyway for everybody, but just some individual stakes were higher in this one. And that made it more intriguing and more exciting, I think. There were also some really, really big twists in this one. You finally figure out what's going on with Luke, and that twist I did remember, but then there's another twist, like a couple traitors, and that I did not remember. So it has been so much fun to reread these because there has been a lot that I have just forgotten. So that has kept it interesting. I'm not exactly sure whether this point should go under the plot or the characters, but I'm going to just put it here. I think Rick Riordan did a great job writing the romance in this one. Yes, we get more romance. It's been kind of sprinkled a little bit throughout all of the books since the very beginning, but now it really gets moving. But I think it's written really well because it's very up and down and rocky and confusing for everybody because they are only teenagers. Percy turns 15 at the very, very end of this book, the last chapter. So they're all very young still, and so their romance is just very up and down and is a lot of fun, honestly. Alright, so now I'm going to move into the characters. That wasn't quite as organized as I wanted it to be, but anyway, let's talk about the characters. The characters get 5 out of 5 stars again. I really love all of them, and it's not just because I fell in love with them when I first read the books. I am learning so much more about them this time. I'm seeing characters grow, and I'm learning things about some of my favorite characters that I didn't realize before, and that makes me love them even more. Grover is a great example of this. I loved him straight away the first time I read the books in the first book because he is goofy and fun and kind of shy about everything, but he's just adorable and I loved him. And rereading the series, I am seeing him grow so much every single book, and I'm learning things about him that I didn't realize before. And he is probably the one that I'm most excited about eventually doing a character video on because he just goes through so much in these books and he grows so much. So that's been really, really fun to see. Sally is getting some really good things finally, and that's wonderful. I loved the last chapter of this book. It actually brought me to tears a couple times because it was just so sweet. And we need that sometimes in these books, you know, a lot of the times you're close to tears or whatever because of something wrong that's happening, something that's going wrong, something that's causing everybody trouble, or because a character has died or whatever. But sometimes it is just very, very sweet, and that's even better. So yeah, I have really loved watching the characters grow and seeing what is brought to them, what they finally get that they deserve. We also had a lot more time with Tyson in this one, which of course I'm happy about. I love Tyson, and I believe he plays a big role in the next one as well, or we at least get to see him a lot more. That's what it looks like it's setting up for, and I feel like there are a couple scenes I remember that we haven't gotten to yet, so I think there's going to be a lot more of Tyson in the fifth book. Also, Rachel Elizabeth Dare, she was a big, big part of this book as well. And there were a couple fan favorite scenes that happened in this book, and they were just really fun. That's a little bit more about plot, but they relate to the characters, so yeah, sorry, this one's a little bit more jumbled. Oh yes, and there were a few other characters, one of whom I know comes back in the Heroes of Olympus series, and I absolutely love that arc, so I can't wait for that. I didn't remember if we first met this character in Percy Jackson and the Olympians or the Heroes of Olympus, but we did meet her in this book, so I'm very excited for her comeback in Heroes of Olympus. Anyway, that's enough about the characters. Let's move into the writing. This will be a really quick one, I promise. So again, I give the writing 3 out of 5 stars. You can watch the first video, my Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief review video to find out what I really thought about the writing. I'm not going to go over it again every single time in the videos because it's always the same. So 3 out of 5 stars. It definitely could have been better in a lot of ways, but still not horrible. Moving into the title tie-in. I really love the title tie-in for this one, the Battle of the Labyrinth. It is perfect, it really is. And this is the first title that is specifically mentioned in the book, as far as I can remember. It hasn't stood out to me before in the other books that the title was specifically mentioned, so I think this is the first one that happens, and that just really helps to tie it in super well, and I really love it when titles are mentioned in the books. So that was really great. This is one of the best title tie-ins, in my opinion, even though the title is still pretty generic for a middle grade book. It's not spectacular, but at least it was tied in really nicely with this book. Moving into the content guide. Again, this is another short one because the content guide is pretty much the same as it has been for all of the books, so go watch the Lightning Thief review video again. That is where I talk about the content guide mostly. But it's middle grade, so there's not going to be anything huge in it that would really bother anybody. It's more just if you're okay with Greek gods and that sort of thing. The Greek myths, monsters, whatever. In this one, there is a lot more raising of the dead. I'm not going to say any more than that because I don't want to give away any huge plot points. But yeah, that's just something to consider in this one. And I think the last one as well, there was a little bit of that sort of thing, but definitely not as much. Anyway, let's just move into the final point on my outline, and that is my takeaway thoughts. I think my takeaway thoughts are the same for every book. It's another amazing book in the series, and it's really moving the plot along well. Rick Riordan did such an amazing job with the plot and the characters. Every book is just spectacular, and it fits in so well, and this one was no exception. So it is setting everything up very well for the final book, and I'm excited to get into that probably today and finish the series possibly this weekend. Like I've said in previous videos, I'm going to be very sad when it ends, but I'm very glad that I have Heroes of Olympus to jump into, and I can always reread these books, and I plan to do so many times in the future because they're always incredible. So that is my review of The Battle of the Labyrinth. Can we also just appreciate this cover? When I do the series review, I'm going to have to show all of the covers really well because they're all just gorgeous. Rick Riordan's cover artist, which I believe is John Rocco for all of them, he's amazing, and every single cover is just incredible. For this version of the series, there's the original version of the series that just looks so amazing, and all the versions of the Heroes of Olympus, because I now have 2 versions. I don't have the full set in the other version, but the covers are just always beautiful, and I really love them. I love the blues in this one, and so I love the covers as well. Maybe I should add that as a point for my reviews. But anyway, I should wrap this up because Missy wants to leave, and if I don't let her out soon, she's going to start causing trouble. So I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave it a like. If you didn't, then you can leave a thumbs down, but let me know in the comments what you didn't like and how I can improve in future videos. For this one, how about we do this question? If you've read Percy Jackson, or even if you know a little bit about Greek mythology and the Greek gods, leave down below who your godly parent would be if you were a demigod or half-blood. And I will do the same. Not who you want them to be, but try to like really figure out who they actually would be. And if you don't know anything about Greek myths, or if you haven't read Percy Jackson, then comment down below what your favorite season is. And I will again do the same. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have a blessed day, everyone.